Right. So throughout this weekend, there have been several rumors about a third assassination attempt against Donald Trump. And there was something that happened in his
Somebody
rally.
did something.
Someone did something. So everything is a matter of speculation now. But in his rally in California's Coachella's Valley, there has been an arrest. Someone was arrested, then posted a $5,000 bail and was released. Oh. But we have conflicting reports here. Some people say that this person was about to assassinate Donald Trump, or at least to try. Others say that this has been a terrible mistake. So throughout the weekend, we had several accounts like DC Drano and other people saying a third assassination attempt against Trump was stopped by cops in California. The shooter had forged VIP passes, so this was a sophisticated operation, and they're talking about stochastic terrorism and the Democrats
and I think it's
demonizing Trump.
Just worth pointing out that this is a very real concern, that the Democrats' rhetoric about Trump has been, extreme.
Absolutely, because we would never be talking about it had it not been for that rhetoric.
Yeah, and it's very unlikely there would have been multiple attempts on Trump's life were the Democrats to talk about him like he was a normal politician. So
stuff like saying he must be stopped.
Yeah, saying that he's Hitler, he's going to be a dictator, he's never going to leave office, he's going to do all sorts of various terrible things. So it would be morally justified from within the American framework to do what they're essentially inciting people to do.
Saying whatever it takes, he must be stopped. I always remember De Niro saying, he will never leave. He will never leave.
He's an old man now.
Yeah.
So unlike the previous attempts, this is a case where no shot was fired.
Right.
And the arrest took place before even Trump reached the place where he was going to give his speech.
Right. Okay.
So we have here Sheriff Chad Bianco saying that he thinks he prevented the third assassination attempt.
Okay.
We have here
His name's Chad.
Yeah, you see here
American name, isn't it?
Sheriff Chad Bianco. So this is a name that commands respect on its own, definitely.
Don't know about Bianco. Seems a bit Hispanic.
You think they're cancelling each other out?
A bit feminine. Yeah, Chad's a good start, but Bianco's a bit of a girly name.
I think he definitely did his job.
Oh yeah, he seems to be doing a good job. Yeah.
Right. So we have here a New York Post article saying armed man Vem Miller arrested outside Trump's Coachella rally as local sheriff insists it was the third assassination attempt, despite letting the perpetrator walk on meager $5,000 bail. And we have here Miller.
So, sorry, he is saying affirmatively that it's an assassination attempt, but for $5,000 he can just go free.
Not exactly, because it's a bit complicated when it comes to the legal issues of what he was charged with, which was weapon charges, where the jurisdiction of the federal government and the federal agencies comes in. So
I don't know anything about this. I'm literally learning it right now. But you don't know what's in someone's mind, really, do you? You can never know.
We can never know
the intent exactly, but I don't know the details, so I'll let you carry on.
We can never know the intent, and that's why even he says it's all up for speculation. But in cases of uncertainty, which are the cases where, almost every one of us are in, we have to make some considered judgments and calculate the probabilities. Sure. So what he thinks is that the probabilities are that he and his forces prevented the third assassination attempt. Right. This is his side. So we're going to just say what each side says and not take a stance on this. At least I won't take a stance. We just want to show you what happened. And again, as Bo said, it's all up to speculation. But it lends for interesting speculation because now, because there were no shots fired, everyone can just come forward and put all the theories about what happened.
I'll let you get to it, but I'll be interested to know what the weapon was.
You'll see.
I'll let you get to it.
Right. So Miller, 49, was caught at a police checkpoint allegedly trying to enter the rally with a phony press pass. But when cops noticed his car wasn't registered, they searched the vehicle and discovered a number of fake passports and driver's licenses, along with a shotgun, a loaded handgun, and a high-capacity magazine.
Right, but he wasn't trying to take those into the rally, was he?
They were in his truck.
All right, so he was trying to take the truck
in his car. So what happened was that he tried to enter with his car into that.
Right. So he was trying to take
so
the guns too.
he passed the first.
It's definitely suspicious.
Oh yeah,
It's very suspicious.
He have a phony press pass.
So there were at least 2 stages of control. He passed the first one, and he went into the second one where there is more intense control, and the people there from the Riverside County Sheriff's Department, they started looking at several suspicious signs. So they said that the car looked a bit suspicious. The license plate seemed forged. If you have the eye, you can see, there's something wrong with these plates.
Yeah.
They went in to check. They said the car was in total mess inside.
Right.
That
Always suspicious.
Always suspicious. Yeah. You don't have many people whose cars are messy. Anyway,
KFC buckets and empty Mountain Dew in the passenger side footwell. Definitely a terrorist.
That prompted more checks, and they started looking at stuff, and they saw that he had several passports and also several driving licenses, and they found the guns. And they said, okay, let's not take any shot with it, any chance with it. They arrested him, and they could arrest him just for the gun possession charges. So we see here the sheriff. We can see what he says here, that everything happened before Donald Trump arrived. I can let the sheriff speak for himself.
But we have his name as Vem, V-E-M, Miller, M-I-L-L-E-R, and his birth date is 10/26 of 1974. And the reason why I gave it to you like that is I will explain later. He approached the outside perimeter, gave all indications that he belonged there, that he was that he was a participant that was allowed to get into VIP and to and a press corps, and so he was allowed through that outer perimeter. As he got to the inside perimeter, where deputies were conducting obviously a more thorough evaluation of the vehicles that were coming in, there were many irregularities that popped up. The deputy noticed that the interior of the vehicle was in quite disarray. The vehicle had an obviously fake license plate, and that prompted further investigation from our deputy into why the person was there and what he was doing. During that investigation, the deputy eventually found multiple passports with multiple names, multiple driver's license with different names. The vehicle was unregistered, and the license plate was what we in law enforcement would recognize as one that is homemade and indicative of a group of individuals that claim to be sovereign citizens, and assuming the deputy assumes that he was part of that identifying group.
So
I was bonkers.
Yeah, so and they say also that he's part of a group called Sovereign Citizens that the Vem Miller will deny it afterwards, and we'll see he denies all the allegations. Right, we have also the other bit here, because essentially what goes on here is speculation. The sheriff didn't want to take any chances. So it seems to me that that's the case. So they said that, that's a suspicious vehicle. That prompted for more searching, for a more intense search, and they found all these fake passports and all these driving licenses and the loaded guns. And the sheriff said, I saw many of you people here in previous rallies, you didn't have guns. So that was suspicious. And many people are saying that he was sort of panicked and that he is trying to make a case for himself. He tries to make a public image of himself and catch the public eye and say that he did prevent this. I'll just also let him speak here about the stuff, because he essentially says that it's commonsensical to think that this person was going to try to do...
We turn up with fake passports, and a car with fake licenses full of guns. Yeah, that's pretty suspicious.
I do think it's suspicious, although what we said about the weapons, shotgun isn't your classic...
No, but he had a handgun as well, didn't he?
Yeah. still, they're both close range things, really.
Sure.
But so you're saying there's an angle here that Sheriff Chad Bianco himself is trying to get some spotlight. Is that what some people are saying?
There are people who said that he overreacted, and that apart from the overreaction, the statements are a bit, he tries to make to boost his image.
Okay.
Well, I think the reaction seems to be justified. There have been two prior attempts on Trump. Some guy with a bunch of fake IDs turns up with a car with guns in it. Yeah, it's not an unreasonable...
Help yourself.
Yeah, it's not an unreasonable response at all, in my opinion.
And let's see what he says here.
So this is what I'm glad of. This is what I am very glad of. I know that the presence that we had at the rally with deputies, with snipers, with counter snipers, and Secret Service snipers and counter snipers, I am glad that we're not talking about this after we shot him. We get to talk about it before, and no matter what, it's all going to be speculation about what his intentions were getting there. What we do know is he showed up with multiple passports with different names, an unregistered vehicle with fake license plate, and loaded firearms. If you're asking me right now, I probably did have deputies that prevented the third assassination attempt. If we are that politically lost, that we have lost sight of common sense and reality and reason, that we can't say that, holy crap, what did he show up with all of that stuff for and loaded guns, and I'm going to be accused of being dramatic? We have a serious, serious problem in this country, because this is common sense and reason. I saw some of you there yesterday. You didn't have guns and fake IDs. I don't know how else to explain it.
I think that's a totally reasonable position.
Yeah, fair point. Yeah.
I think it's a fair point, and he did his job. He did his job well. No one died.
Well, yeah.
So I think that
the thing is, people be like, "Oh, well, sovereign citizens aren't pro-democrats." Like, no, but they're anti-dictator. They're very much concerned with the sort of hardline view of classical liberal liberties. And so if the media is just like dictator, Hitler, it's entirely possible that some bonkers guy is just gonna be like, right, well, I've got to go and do this to prevent the future dictatorship or whatever.
So now it's interesting to present the other side.
Yep.
To see the side of people who say that most probably he didn't want to assassinate Donald Trump. Right. So they say that this person, Vem Miller, is someone who is frequenting Republican rallies. Mm-hmm. And he has taken photos with several people from the Republican side. I'll show you pictures with Vivek, with Jordan Peterson, and other people. So let's see him here at the Republican National Convention, which was held in July, the 15th to the 18th. He was there. Essentially, he was lamenting.
So one thing I don't get is that everything at this convention, at the Republican National Convention, is cashless. This whole place is cashless. So I don't know. See, that's a Republican National Convention behind me. Wonderful people, wonderful time. Just not happy that it's all cashless.
So they're saying that this isn't a person who just happened to, out of nowhere, just attend a Donald Trump rally. That he is going to several of these rallies, and he's also known to a lot of people. So here we see him with Dennis Quaid.
I wondered who that was. Dennis Quaid. Okay.
Yeah, who played now in the Reagan film.
Is that
and there you see him also. You'll see if we play the video here. He also has photographs with. Let's go here with Vivek and other people. It's not loading now.
We'll take it.
We'll take it. Yeah. So, and they're saying essentially that he is breaking his silence, and he is saying that he is essentially a pro-Trump Republican ever since 2018. And a friend of his and podcaster, I'll show her to you. Here, right-wing documentarian Mindy Robinson said Miller has been a MAGA activist for years, had no intention of killing the former president, and said she has been to several pro-Trump events with him.
Yeah.
You see her here with it. Yeah. Yep. Right. So we see here he says that it has been a misunderstanding.
So he just happened to have these things in his car. He happens to be a disorderly person. He happens to have got a bunch of false passports. He happens to have fake license plates. And he just happens to have fake...
You'll see what he says with the passports.
Okay.
He says he is from Armenia, and he has documents with the original Armenian name, but also a name that he changed into in 2022. Right, okay. So it gets a bit more complicated. So we see here a friend and business partner of Miller told Daily Mail he is a full-blown Trump supporter and slammed the police for not understanding his one of us. I won't say that whether he was trying to assassinate Donald Trump or not, I think that this statement is completely mistaken on behalf of the friend.
Yeah, I think it's totally fair for the police to be skeptical about.
Yes, so
it seems odd.
People are not mind readers, so if people are acting suspiciously, the job of the people who are entrusted with the protection of Donald Trump is to protect Donald Trump.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah, we're not in Minority Report when we have those three ancient lasses who are reading minds. I don't remember. Okay, so he says that he has literally never shot a gun in his life, that he had these guns to protect himself in case he was attacked.
I think you might need to learn how to use them then.
Yeah. He says he's an artist, the last person that could cause any violence and harm to anybody.
Okay.
He says that the accusations were complete BS. He's a Trump supporter ever since 2018. He initially thought that he would support Obama in the past, but he then drifted rightward to libertarianism.
Sure.
He thinks that Trump is the embodiment of freedom of speech, at least in this case.
Fair.
He deeply admires him. And he says now, that's where it's interesting. Miller also says that there are no falsified IDs on his person. So he denies the allegations that the IDs were fake.
What about the press pass?
And that there was confusion because he's Armenian and some use his full birth name and others don't to avoid potential anti-Armenian sentiment around the world.
Okay, fair enough.
And says his 2021 court documents, because he was in a feud with his then wife, name him as Van Vim Yanovkian, also known as Van Miller Yanovkian. Miller filed in Clark County, Nevada to change his name to Van Miller in 2022. The court appears to have granted the request. He further denied allegations made by Sheriff Chad Bianco that he was part of an anti-government sovereign citizens movement.
Okay.
So he is denying the allegations. And here we can see the documents where he is named as Van Vim Yanovkian. Right, so I think that this doesn't address the suspicious behavior. So whether also maybe I've lost something, but we haven't heard about the plates.
Just to be kind, I mean, he could just be a kook.
Mm. Right. For me, the thing is, we've got to address the guns.
Yeah.
Having multiple documents with not exactly the same name on all of them, okay. And if there's a reason for it, then absolutely okay. But now there's a little bit about American gun culture and British gun culture. Now,
so the fake licenses and the fake press passes.
Yeah, that is suspicious. Yeah, and don't have fake plates on your car.
Yeah.
That's just not allowed. I don't think so.
Don't falsify papers. Trying to get close to the president.
All those things are a bit weird and suspicious, but not really a big deal. Doesn't make you an assassin, does it? In any way, shape, or form. The gun thing, though. So lots of not just Americans, but all sorts of non-British people think that you can't have guns in Britain. You can.
Yeah, there are millions of guns.
Yeah, you can totally get. You can get like up to. You can get big rifles.
You can get hunting rifles, shotguns.
Yeah.
You just can't get handguns.
Yeah, it's just handguns that are more or less entirely banned. But you can get guns in Britain. They're not completely banned. However, we do have a different culture to America. Now, having said that, just don't take guns to a political rally, though. That's what's suspicious to me.
That's why January the 6th didn't seem very suspicious to me at all. Really, the Republicans, the gun lovers, they're overthrowing the Republic, and not one of them is armed. I'm not sure that's the overthrow attempt you're making it out to be.
Yeah. It's like if you're just a pro-gun person in America, you love your gun, you live in California and you've got guns, and you take them in your car for self-defense and all that sort of thing, fine, okay, I guess. Yeah. Don't go to a Trump rally with them, though.
Yeah.
That's the one point for me where it's like, you've got shotgun and handguns with higher capacity mags in the vehicle, though. Like, just leave those at home today.
Yeah.
That's the real, for me, the crux so far. What I'm learning is that was a mistake.
I think the counter response would be that, if there is someone who does try to assassinate Trump and shoot other people, maybe you need to protect yourself against them. But I think that
it's not going to be your job.
You let the Secret Service do that.
Yeah, I think it leads into chaos.
Yeah, why would you?
And that's the issue that I want to address the people who are lashing out against the sheriff. That you literally can't have it both ways. Because if something happened, everyone would say he didn't do his job. Yeah. Now that he was, do you want overzealous? Yeah, he should be overzealous. Protecting Donald Trump. He did his job. Now people again are
I don't think he did.
In my mind, so far, I'm not putting any blame or anything on Chad.
Yeah.
None at all. Yeah,
he's acted perfectly.
His job is to be overzealous at this point.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. The last thing any sheriff would want is for something to go down on their patch.
Oh yeah,
right?
Well, it'd be the end of his career.
Oh yeah. So
he'd be responsible. I mean, he's probably not a big Democrat. You know what I mean? Like, I doubt he wants that.
So what happened now to come to an end with the segment is that he was arrested for gun charges. Right. He was let out on bail, on $5,000 bail, and Sheriff Chad Bianco says that he is into contact with federal agencies about the other stuff, who are investigating the other bits about with the passports and the plates and the overall state of his car, messy state of his car. But the federal agencies are thinking that it's unlikely that he tried to assassinate Trump. And here we have them say that it's unlikely that it happened, and the FBI is not investigating it as such, sources told the Post, who noted Miller is a member of an anti-government far-right group and probably had the weapons for personal defense alone. So they are essentially saying something different now. They are contradicting Van Miller, who said that he isn't a part of any kind of group. The federal agencies seem to be saying that he is part of group, but he didn't want to assassinate Donald Trump. It's all a bit of a mess.
But it looks like it's just some kooky guy who thought, I could get in and get a good seat or something. I don't know.
So really, it's all a matter of...
It doesn't sound like he was trying to actually kill Trump.
So you see, it's all a matter of speculation, and at the point, and you see, if you just hear the one side on the one hand and just form an opinion from that one side, everyone will say no, he definitely wanted to assassinate Donald Trump. If they hear other sides and other data, maybe there is occasion for a different judgment to be made. But I think what seems to me very clear is that this sheriff did his job.
Yeah. If I had to put a bit of money on it, everything I've learned in the last 25 minutes, and I have come into this cold, I didn't know anything about this until we started this segment, I will probably put money on the guy's not an assassin, but the Chad Bianco did his job.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if he wanted to assassinate him or not, but I think the sheriff did his job.
I hope you appreciated that segment from the podcast of the Lotus Eaters. And if you want to see what else we're up to, we had a roundtable discussion on the legacy of Tolkien. We even had Luca Johnson in, who was a bit of a Tolkien scholar. It was really, really good, really nourishing. And if you want to see all the other stuff that we're putting out, you can always follow us on Twitter. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.